So I've been making videos about the old Bergara B14R here for a little over a year now, and thanks you guys for watching that. I really appreciate it. That's pretty cool. But in that time, almost every video I have, I ask you guys if you have any questions to let me know, because I'd like to talk about it. And you guys have. You've been punching them down in the comments down there, and I appreciate it. I've tried to get back to everybody and best I can. But I realize not everybody is scrolling down through the comments and reading those, so I thought I'd do a Q&A and answer some of those questions in format you guys can watch. You don't have to read, because some of us, that reading stuff's, it's a struggle. So we're gonna run through that, and I actually have a whole list of them typed up here. This side. That side's fine too. So we're just gonna read down through here, and I'm gonna answer them as best I can. If you have more questions, or if I mess all this up, let me know and I'll do some more. Actually, probably be a couple of these, because this is like, I don't know, 2 pages long or something, and I'm gonna need a nap in the middle of this. So let's get going here. First question. This is actually my favorite one. What hat is that? I have no idea what video that was even from. I could have looked, but I didn't. So we're going to talk about this hat. This is from Pineapple Shooter. A wonderful young lady named Reagan Hearn. And if you're into that, you know, go fast, run around, shoot steel thing, check her out. She's a pretty cool person and actually really good at it. So Pineapple Shooter, I think, on Instagram, and Reagan Hearn Competitive Shooter Facebook, and you'll find her. She's pretty cool. I got a chance to shoot with her at the Athlon ELR about a month ago, and she's pretty cool. Anyway, that's this hat. I've got lots of hats. I see the MPAs are more than I wanted to spend. I can try to find one used. How much better are they than XYZ other chassis? I ended up going with the same MPA chassis. I can't get the magazine to seat no matter what I do, even with the adjustable catch. How do you move the balance point? So a bunch of questions about the MPA, and that's fine. This rifle here, my primary comp rifle, it's the steel barreled B14R. I put it in MPA, and I chose this one because that's what I found within my budget. A couple of years ago I found this used. It's from another PRS shooter here locally, and I could afford it. It was used. That's what I went with. There's a bunch of other chassis out there. All have their benefits. All great supporters of the community. I can't really recommend one over the other. This is all I've used because this is what I have. I do like it. I've talked about it in a couple other videos, so it works well for me, but there's a lot of other ones that would probably work well too. Question about the magazine catch comes up every once in a while. Do I have any feeding issues from changing it from the factory stock to this one? To be honest, I have never had a single feeding issue with this chassis. Never had any with the factory stock either. That is probably going to be the biggest potential issue when swapping to a chassis. Sometimes the magazine doesn't set in there just right, and you'll present too high or too low, and you've got to wiggle that a little bit to get it to feed all the time. Sometimes adjustable mag catches help. Sometimes there's still problems. Unfortunately, without having it right in front of me and being able to play with it, I have a hard time offering too much advice. I do know there is an aftermarket magazine coming out pretty soon that's going to have an adjustable mag catch on the back. That's going to be pretty cool. You'll be able to adjust that without messing with your latch. Some people have tried Voodoo magazines, work for them, Mac Brothers. So there's some other options. Without having your rifle to play with, I have a hard time suggesting a fix. Just the balance point. This is still just a little butt heavy, even with the full internal front weight kit, and if depending on how I wiggle it, it may go forward or may go back. It's actually not too bad, and by the time I set it on a bag, it's about perfect for me. So with the chassis, don't add anything else to the back. I've got the bag rider. Full internal weights in the front. Seems to work pretty well. How many inch-pounds do you torque the action screws to on the chassis? I do 55. That's what Bergara recommends. I use 55 on my other B14R. I have done the torque testing where I've taken them out and go to the range and adjust them, 5 pounds up each time and shoot a bunch of rounds and see if it changes anything. To be honest, in this rig, there were a couple of torque settings that were awful and a couple of them that were pretty close to the factory 55, but I didn't find one that was, a obvious improvement over 55. I use 55. Test it out on your rifle. You may find something a little different, but that's what's worked well for me. I use the Fix-It sticks, by the way. They're a little all-in-one kit. That was pretty cool. Side-by-side accuracy comparison between the steel and the carbon fiber rifle. Do you see any accuracy difference, say at 50 yards with SK ammo, whatever? So I've got the carbon fiber version, I've got the steel. This is the one I normally use. Carbon fiber is kind of my loner. If I shot, or somebody shot groups at 50 and 100 with good SK ammo between the two and gave me the targets, with these two rifles, I cannot tell a difference. They shoot almost exactly the same out to 100. I haven't compared the carbon one further than 100. I don't really shoot the carbon too much. I loan it out to people. I really should do that, but between my two rifles, I can't tell a difference. What ammo do you use? And where are you finding it? So, this rifle, I use SK Rifle Match. I also shoot some standard out of it. This primarily goes to the carbon gun simply because it's usually a little cheaper. This stuff's a little bit more expensive. I have some Center X that I use occasionally, but I've settled on SK Rifle Match simply because when I started shooting this rifle, this is what I could find that I could afford, and it shoots well enough to do what I need to do right now. The harder part of that question is, where do you find it? Right now, it's a little tricky. Find an online dealer. That's pretty much going to be your only option. There's sometimes local stores will get it, but not very often. And sign up for in-stock alerts and jump on it when you can. Sometimes you'll find a buddy that has some and you can weasel some out of him or trade him for it. So thanks, John. I got a little extra now. So get it wherever you can. Right now, I can't really recommend one place or another. Is it worth to build up a 22 Rimfire Precision or a 22 Precision Rimfire? I can't tell if that question, again, I should have actually looked what video it was on. I can't tell if that's in general about precision rimfires or about my old Ruger Precision Rimfire. First question, build up a precision rimfire? Absolutely. If you can do it, you have a place to shoot it, they are a blast. One thing I found about the rimfires, if you're getting into the kind of long range stuff or trying to get somebody else into it, they're a little less intimidating than the center fires, and you can shoot them a lot more places. If you have the resources, build one, they're a blast. On the Ruger Precision side, I actually don't even have mine anymore. I sold it to a buddy. Sometimes I wish I had it, but I can't shoot them all the time and he's using it, so I let that go. There's a lot of good aftermarket options for the Ruger Precision Rimfire. Again, if that's your thing, go for it. Would you tell us the meaning of your numbers? And I think that was a question about the card on the side of here. And this isn't new for anybody that shoots these kind of competitions, but not everybody does. So this is what's called a dope card, and this will outline distances, elevation changes, and general layout of targets for a stage that I'm shooting. I shoot primarily NRL 22, sometimes some 22X, and for those matches where you get a course of fire description either early or the day of, I like to set down and line out each stage on a card, and that will have the order of engagement and any elevation changes I need to either dial or hold. That helps me keep track of things. Things happen quick, 90 seconds or 2 minutes goes by really quick, and I have a hard time remembering all that. So I write it down. For this instance, this was last NRL 22 match. We had to shoot off the tips of the tank trap. Elevation was come up 0.3 mils 3 times. So each tip, 3 shots, 0.3 mils up. Then I moved to the rope across 2 tips, come up 1.1 mils, 3 shots. That's how I remember it. I usually lay these out, you know, the night before if I can. I understand that dope may change a little bit, you know, depending on weather conditions or whatever, but it's close enough that I can, you know, either hold under or hold over a tenth, whatever, depending on that day is. Sometimes I'll write a little correction down here, but if I can do it the day before, it really helps, you know, relieve some stress for me. What about the bolt knob? Yeah, that's this guy here. And this is a knob and a handle from Anarchy Outdoors. This is the big Bertha. There's a small Bertha, which is a little bit smaller than this. I got big hands and, you know, I like to have a big one to grab onto. With the handle on here, you can adjust the position all over the place. I'm going to have another video here pretty soon about Anarchy Outdoors goodies that you can slap on one of these. So that's the big Bertha. There's lots of good knobs out there for them, but I really like this one. Whoa, got ahead of myself there. What reticle did you choose for your scope? This is the Gentoo Cronus with the APRS 6. I like the 6 because it has the 2/10 mil hashes on the reticle. There's lots of good reticles. Everybody has their preference. I like, with the 22, having the 0.2 subtensions. It's not super cluttered, but it's fine enough that I can do holdovers as I need. So I like the APRS 6. Any thoughts on the L3i extensions versus the A&J sporting extensions? And I failed to get a magazine out, but you'll see in most of my videos I'm running a 2-round extension on the bottom of my factory mags. And those are made by L3i, and A&J sells them. So they're the exact same ones, just kind of depends who you order them through. I have a video or 2 on those as well. There's a couple of tips that you might want to check out to get those to run 100%. So I'll stick a link down there. I'm almost through the first page and I'm already tired, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go take a nap for a little bit, and I'll come back and see if I have enough motivation to finish the rest of these, because you guys have lots of questions and I'm getting a little winded here. So thanks for watching. If you have any more questions on these, dump them in below there and I'll keep answering them. So thanks again. Get some kids out. Stay safe.